Cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here we talk everything Milan, Serie A, upcoming Europa League. We got the finally the schedule of La Coppa Italia. And yes, well, we're not professionals.
Nor do we pretend to be.
Stevie P, Vinny T, faithfully, what is this week, 177? What do you got over there? Milan Club Philly. A fellow donor and a fellow Milanista. Thank you to David Fante for this beautiful, beautiful scarf. And thank you for his donation as well to the cause. Yes, Steve. You know what? When people are just going to listen to us, they're not going to see you do all these shenanigans. And
The video.
you know what? First of all, we'd like to say we are in awe. Thank you so very much to every single buddy that donated to the cause. Donated to, I don't know if they're donating for, for the kids and giving these toy and food drive, or they're donating to see Steve shirtless. Besides the fact, right, we are so far, Steve, did we reach $700? Are we at 700? I think with the last $20, I think with the last $20, and even my aunt that slips me a $20 at church.
Yeah.
Right. She's like, that's for the foundation, right? Number one, ma tante Agathe. She's number one in our books. And do you want to go say a special thank you to everybody?
You just said thank you to everybody.
Well, okay. I thought we were gonna run off but.
Oh, you want to say? Oh, yeah.
No, sure, I just want to say thank you to Matthew Di Guglielmo for his donation. My aunt Jan, fellow Milan Club member. Thank you very much for those for the donation and for those nice pictures that you sent to us on the WhatsApp message. We'll keep that between ourselves. And since then, yeah. Steve?
Yeah.
Is
my
that
wife?
Your wife donated.
Yes.
So she wants to see you shirtless when she can see you shirtless for free.
She's paying for it even though she could get it for free.
There we go. So thank you guys very much for everybody, and I think that makes it $700 if I'm not mistaken. My aunt made it at $680. We were at $680 right now. No, we're at $6. I think it's got to update. But
yeah,
guys, thank you very much for all of that. We greatly appreciate it. And before we get into it, before we introduce our guests, right? We were at the bar,
yes,
at Chocharo's on Sunday watching the game. Milan Legend was there, and he has a little feedback for us.
Oh, okay.
Milan Legends wanted to know what happened to the social media lounge. He likes to get his shout-outs, Milan Legends. So, Milan Legends...
The social media lounge, people, is open to all.
But we're going to maybe do a special show during the 2 weeks break. Maybe we're going to do a social media... Milan Legends, we're going to answer your question
Guaranteed.
And I loved how we had, Jan was there, and then we had Tommy.
Of course.
Tommy, we're talking about, Gattuso and the Ibras, and he comes out of nowhere and is like, when Saki was there, we need to go back to the Saki days when they did a partitella with no balls. Tommy's the best guy.
Yeah.
He's the best because he brings it back to the classic and everything. But always a great time. When we're watching at Chocharo's, and we're gonna get into that game. But before we get into that game, Steve, we have a guest. This
yes,
week
sir.
That is a fellow Milanista around the world.
Forza Milan.
Right now, it's like noon where he's at.
Boom.
Another guy that actually contributed one of the big amounts for, and we thank him very much. And Presidente was a bit worried.
Yeah.
He was a bit worried that you would screw up his name.
Guaranteed.
And I believe is Karamenas Daniel.
Daniel.
How about we go with Daniel from Milan Club Sydney? Daniel, are you there with us? Yes, we can hear you, and you know what? Even though Steve is going to butcher it, give us your proper pronunciation of your name. Caramello, it's the Calabrese. He's from the south. He's from the south, from there. So thank you for joining us and taking the time. And we'll just and take the time right now to, if you want to plug yourself, your Milan Club Sydney. Why don't you tell us about, Milan Club Sydney, Milan Club Melbourne? Is there some heat over there?
We want to know how the dirt, and we want to know how you became a Milanese.
Yes.
Well, we love Milan Club Melbourne. That's one of our very close friends, and we call them cousins. So we love them very much. We here in Milan in Sydney. We started the Milan Club Sydney about 5-6 years ago now. I'm actually not the president is called the AC Milan Godfather, and his name is Antonio Yenko. I'm the club secretary at the moment. So yeah, we started the club to kind of gain interest here for Milan here in Australia. I actually have an Italian and Greek background myself, so my last name is actually Greek.
Whoa, Daniel, I'm gonna stop you there. Please tell me that you get to have a panini one day and a souvlaki another day.
Me, that's good.
That's like paradise. Paradise.
I do. It is paradise. Yeah, it's amazing. But my love for Milan and the Azzurri is definitely there. So yeah, we created the Milan Club Sydney here in Australia to gain interest in Milan and have our own little family here in Australia. So part of the things we do is we show live games. Unfortunately for us, they are sometimes at 2:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, and then sometimes you will have them at 10:30 at night. So we're very lucky to have some great venues here in Australia that let us get together and show the live games.
Yeah.
We also every now and then play a live a fan game against other clubs here in Australia. I won't mention one of them. They wear black and white. They're insignificant, but we play them every now and then, and we have a little charity event with them as well. So yeah, that's what we kind of do here. We're here to create a family for everyone here in Australia, and we are growing. Yeah, we're growing the club all around Australia. We've got the Melbourne guys on board, and they're really great. They're doing a fantastic job. I'm ashamed to say better than us. And yeah, we're happy to have a club in every state here in Australia.
That's awesome to
That's
hear. And
awesome.
if you guys haven't figured out, he's from Australia.
Yeah.
I was gonna probably screw up because And by the way, for anybody that's watching on YouTube right now, let me redirect this over here. That is a box of a panettone that's blocking Steve right now because the panettone is holding the phone that we're recording right now.
It's a real Italian mic stand.
Yeah, it is. You can't get better. What do you think? We're gonna go spend money for a mic stand?
No way.
No, we're not spending money for that kind of stuff.
If we buy a mic stand, people, we eat it after.
Exactly. So let's take it directly to because we played Torino on Sunday. A lot of us were having a lot of high hopes. Roma dropping points in the worst kind of ways,
Yeah.
but Inter dropping points, Lazio dropping points, and then we're like, okay, and we're gonna get into it. But you know what? I can't say anything because you bought me this table, so thank you. But Steve, I want to remind everybody. Before we get into the presidential points with Daniel, you last week to put us in the perspective of the presidential points, you said I'm gonna give him this one because he was trying to put himself over. That you had a surprise in mind, and that can you please, Daniel for sure wants to know.
Of course, everybody wants to know.
How did the president get into this? The presidential points this week.
Okay, so Daniel, our climate here in Canada, we're usually in the minuses this time of year, so we kind of stay in quite a bit. We do venture out from time to time, but with Presidente, this week, coming up with the presidential points, he decided to stay in. So again, we're bringing back the leather futon chair.
Yes.
Okay.
Maroon color.
Maroon, yes. Not plastified. No, this is one that he uses all the time.
Okay.
He sits down and he has his turntable on. Okay.
Yeah.
And on the turntable, he's playing himself some music.
Okay.
Now, Presidente, he goes and he plays. He plays the music, people. He plays.
He's playing Ricky Poveri. Really? Sarà perché ti amo, emozione.
And he's got the headphones on, right? Because
The muffs.
the first lady cannot be disturbed.
No, obviously.
Right? Cannot be disturbed. Perché ti amo.
Il ritmo e stammi più vicino. And now, as he's dancing, the points
The
are coming.
points are just coming to him, Daniel. They're just one after the other. It's like, wow, Daniel, I cannot pronounce his last name. He's going to be incredibly impressed with us.
Salam.
It's the best song ever.
You see, and Daniel has no problem believing the story, but at this point, is he scratching the disc? Is
He
trying
does
to
not
do-
scratch. No, he does not scratch. He does not scratch.
Es el amore. Oh, sorry, I got a little.
That's it.
I got a little.
That's it.
So after listening to this beautiful 1980s pop hits from Italy, and I love how this panettone is just blocking you, but you're still there. Let's take it over to point number one, right? Actually, before we get into the point, let's talk very briefly about the game, because these are points on the game. Look, guys, first half was so-so. We had most of the chances. Donnarumma stood on his head, guys. A couple of those shots, it's like, on one point, it's like, was that really a great save or was that really a missed shot? In the end of the game, we had the most chances, but that time where Cutrone missed that golden chance, I looked at everybody, I'm like, guys, we're not winning. I didn't say we were going to lose, I go, we're not winning this game. We had way too many chances. Steve, were you disappointed from what you saw on the pitch, knowing that everybody dropped points, or I'm not going to say happy with a point, but Torino's been playing fantastic in the last couple of weeks, but it just seemed that they took their couple of chances in the first half.
Yeah.
We stood, like I was saying, Donnarumma stood on his head, but were we missing that?
Yeah.
That what do you say?
We were missing that final touch in the final third, right?
Oh, we got background noise there. Daniel's got has got the people over there. Maybe they
It's
want to
okay.
be part.
Maybe they heard Enrique Pobre and they said, you know what? Let's get in this. Let's get in this with Daniel. Because guaranteed he's not on a regular podcast. That's for sure.
But Steve, what did you think about the game? I know you couldn't join us, but what did you?
Look, guys, I follow social media. You know me. I love getting everybody's perspective. For me, I am a bit disappointed. Yes, we are in fourth. Yes, everybody dropped points, but that killer instinct is missing from this team.
Yeah.
These are the times where we need to create that gap, whether it be 3 points from Lazio, 1 point behind Inter, where we could play a little bit more at ease.
Yeah.
This team, unfortunately, mentally suffers a lot. A little cushion would have helped us.
It definitely could have helped
Especially
us.
with the games that are coming.
Would it be like the Abate playing another fine game, Bakayoko again having a fine game? But Daniel, let me ask you this: in a time where, let's say, the year before, where in every situation where everybody lost points and we had the opportunity to win back points, being the way we are this year, were you also disappointed that we didn't make up any points against Torino, or were you like, okay, you know what, it's with the team that we had, we couldn't ask for more?
I was actually of that opinion. I think I was actually not happy with the draw, but happy with the fact that we didn't crumble. And in the past years, I think we would have crumbled. We held ourselves. The back line were pretty strong. There were a couple of instances where we were getting overrun on the left wing. Tenaloglu, I think, probably could have done a little bit better. But when Castelliero came on, the whole team changed. I think it was a very positive ending to the game. We missed a couple of, good chances at the end, but I was overall actually quite impressed with how we held ourselves.
And we spoke about Castello last time, that it was more of a we didn't know what to expect of him. Like he's a wild thing, and now it paid off. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of chance in there. And Çalhanoğlu, guys, it's
But
I don't know, like
let's be straightforward here. That Castillejo for Çalhanoğlu
yeah.
happened 10 to 15 minutes too late.
100%, and I don't know if Gattuso, like, obviously he's got talent, but he's dealing with some stuff, and deal with your stuff on the outside. But in the end, this was a golden opportunity, Steve, to be a point behind Inter, and unfortunately, we didn't lose, we didn't lose the game, but in the end, at home against Torino, yes, they've been in fine form, but we should have won that. We should have won that game, and I know. We have, Bologna, I believe, coming up.
Let's give credit, because Torino had a good game too.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It was a 0-0 game where the momentum was kind of flip-flopping between the two teams. So Torino didn't come there to park the bus. They brought it to us. What aggravates me the most is, we've said it multiple times, Daniel, you listen, everybody else who listens. I've always said from Donnarumma, sometimes I need him to make that save. That save, which is a difference between a 1-1, a 1-0, a 2-1, a 2-2. We got that save. We got that
save and we were able
from
to pick up.
Donnarumma, but the rest of the guys unfortunately could not have buried that chance.
Yeah.
We need Higuain to be better. We need Cutrone to be better. But these guys need service, guys. They did not get any service.
It looked like Kessie was completely invisible this game, and it seemed like he was more axed on the defensive side. And Bakayoko once again having a great game. I don't know if I know those guys in Dublin saying they were gonna buy shots for everybody if he scored, but he did get. I don't know if he got player of the game again, but in the end, everybody's a little disappointed. But considering the fact that where we are team wise and injury wise, we can't complain that much.
And this was Giorno di Paquetá.
Paquetá was there, and he starts us off with a tie. So we'll see what he did. The medicals today. He passed. He
went to La Madonnina.
Even La Madonnina, everything's good. So let's take it over to the presidential point, numero uno.
Ba 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 boom.
So Daniel, I'm gonna ask you first about the Mazzari being bitter. So Torino coach Walter Mazzari in the post-match interview said, "If we had scored in the first half, we would have won that game." His question, is this a bitter remark, be better left unsaid, since you don't know how Milan would have reacted once scored upon, or do you agree with Mazzari that Milan would have lost? So Mazzari would be, he didn't pull the watch thing. What do you think about all this, about Mazzari's comment, Daniel?
Well, I think he's being definitely bitter, but at the same time, I see a bit of truth to his comments. I think we've been this season a number of times in the lead, and the minute we've conceded goals, we've tended to fall apart a little bit. A good example was against Napoli. We were 2-0 up. They scored one, and then the second one, and then we just went to sleep. So I think that's happened a lot to us this season. And but again, you can't tell. You don't have a crystal ball. You don't know how they would have reacted if they would have scored. But judging by that, I think I actually, I don't know. I feel that those comments weren't. They were bitter, but then again, there was some truth behind it.
And it's Mazzari, right, Steve? Do we
No,
have to pay
this guy here, Mazzari, he's something else there. Like, I gave him all the credit. You're a Serie A coach. But have you been watching what has happened, like, the past 10, 11 games? You would have probably had a better chance of winning this game if Milan scored first. Because it would have been normal and we would have conceded right after.
Yeah, that's a good point.
His comments are, we were going to score first and we were going to win the game. No, Mazzari, because we always let people score first and we end up winning the game. We let Parma score first, we won the game.
Hey.
So I don't know if you watch Giusto del Gol. I don't know 90º minuto if he can catch it in Torino if they have
Maybe
that.
Doesn't see the updates
or in Torino there's only Juve TV. I would almost be surprised that he doesn't even get those channels. But honestly, like, to be bitter, this is basically, I don't like to be robotic, but you can't say Mazzari, we would have won the game. It was a game where it was bound to be finished as a tie.
Yeah, just some sour apples from Mazzari, and again, why are we putting this much attention on Walter Mazzari? But he's a character, not to the level of the premier coach of Serie A, but he's still a character. Chapter number 2, according to Il Presidente, is Gattuso comparison. Gattuso said a year ago we would have lost this match. We were solid. We suffered both. Also, didn't let Torino do much in open play. His question: the numbers say this: after 14 rounds, Milan has scored has 5 more points than last season. Do you agree with Gattuso that this year's team has more fight in them compared to last year and know how to suffer when the going gets tough? Steve, to this question, right? Let's take you back, Steve Polillo, and Daniel. I'm going to ask you the same thing. 4 or 5 weeks ago, when we got all these injuries, tell me the truth. Were you expecting Milan to be still in 4th spot? I'm not saying comfortable lead.
No.
But do you think that this kind of team last year would have lost? Do you see that? Are we giving more than we would expect?
The players that are playing are giving more. The fact of the matter is, and the truth, which everybody's going to get a little bit pissed off about, is unfortunately we can't take it to that next level, even with the injured players. We're not as deep as a Juve, we're not as deep as now, magically. Under Sarri, Napoli didn't seem deep.
Yeah.
Under Ancelotti, magically everybody's deep. Even the snakes are deep.
And that's what it comes down to.
And,
Even if we make Champions League, we're gonna go
and
on.
you know what? That's what it is. 1, 2, 3. Because they're so deep. They could afford an injury. They could afford. Now, what happened to Milan? I'm not saying if it would have happened to Napoli or it would have happened to Inter, they would have either had the depth to keep in play, but it shows that the depth is there. For us, the depth, unfortunately, is not there. Now, we're getting a magical performance by Abate. We're getting a magical performance by Zapata. I would never have thought that. I would have never came on this
Bakayoko.
show. Bakayoko has turned back into the Bakayoko of Monaco. Not the Chelsea one, the Monaco one.
Yeah.
Again, I apologize. He's doing his job. Unfortunately, now we're not getting it from the starters who are not injured. Higuain's not scoring. Cutrone is not scoring. Suso took a day off against Torino.
Suso has, there was that one point where Higuain was wide open. I mean, Suso was wide open with Higuain, and then he didn't see him or whatever. But Suso, several times was trying to do everything by himself. But to you, Daniel, would this team, would they have lost last year, or are they doing better than expected right now with all these injuries, according to you?
I believe that this team is doing an extremely good job with what we've got. I think the injuries played a big role in where we are. But then again, if you told me, as you said 5 weeks ago, we'll do a B4th, I would have said no chance. But they have, in a way, there is a resilience there that we did not see in the last couple of seasons under Montella, if you want to keep going back that far. So there's a good sense of resiliency, and the players that have been pulled into the team, like Bakayoko and all them, have definitely improved in the last couple of weeks. So I'm pretty confident that we will keep just growing, and hopefully when we get our starting 11 back and we are looking a little bit more solid, we continue to push a bit harder.
That's
And
well said.
to touch a little bit on Suso.
Yeah.
Suso complained that Higuain didn't see him when he was all alone.
But how many times did he didn't see all the other players when he was all by himself?
I get it. Higuain is a striker. He's going to shoot. He wants to score. The next time down the field, though, Higuain did see Suso.
Yeah, and
he
he gave it-
rolled a ball to Sirigu. He rolled it. He didn't even take a shot. He rolled it. So, buddy Suso, unfortunately, when Higuain is in the box or near the box, with the minimal service that he has, unfortunately, he's going to take the shot.
Yeah.
So get used to it.
Exactly. So let's take it over to point number 3 and 4 are kind of all connected. It's talking about new blood. It's talking about Gazidis and the new head of scouting, Jeffrey Moncada. Let's go with this, Steve. Let's say from Gazidis, expectations from Gazidis and this new scouting, saying that he wants to discover new talents before signing guys that are proven. I know that Gazidis is known at Arsenal for always promoting one guy from the youth team. But first, if I would ask you, part 1, what do you expect from this guy? And in the end, like even this new scouting guy, right, who's going to be taking direction from Gazidis. In the end, what do you expect from this guy Gazidis? Talking about a new Milan stadium, talking about Imer's not coming because his agent fees are too expensive. So far, what do you get from this guy?
I get that he's a businessman. He is the CEO of Milan, the company.
Yeah.
I would like him to stay as CEO of Milan, the company. Control my finances. I don't mind the comments of, you know what, I can't sign Zlatan because not only is it going to cost me $4 million for 6 months, but I'm going to have to pay like $250,000 to Raiola because his fees are too much. These are things that we don't know.
He's got
We don't
the
know.
business sense behind
He
it,
has
right?
the business sense, and it seems like he's transparent.
Yeah.
Because we would have not known that. We know that there's fees that exchange themselves. We don't know how much these fees are. Will they put Milan in a bad spot? I want him to control the finances.
And not only that, Steve, that he doesn't know 100% what that fine is going to be from the UEFA, right? They could be between 5 and 7. Who knows? But he's in a position. Why take a chance?
If it's 5 and 7, Vinny, there's no way. There's not that there's no way. I don't want to hear about we're in trouble.
No.
5 and 7 million from the garbage that we've come out from, where our owner
It's a blessing.
is a blessing.
Yeah.
If they said it's similar to the punishment of Inter, let's go with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. It doesn't stop them. You gotta buy and sell. You're gonna have no choice to buy and sell. We cannot keep the Bertolacci's. We cannot keep the Jose Mauris at this point. I'm okay with that.
Borini we keep, pero.
We'll keep Borini. But what is strange to me is that, yes, he names his scout. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that as well. Again, North American style, it seems like they're taking that model.
Yeah.
He wants his guy. That's okay. His guy has to realize now we're not in the EPL anymore. The types of players that you're discovering were good in the EPL might not be good in Serie A. That's the thing that scares me.
If a Cristiano Ronaldo needed 3-4 games to adapt himself to Serie A, which is an elite player, you know, but so far, look, we're gonna trust his judgment, see where he goes. Daniel, in Australia, are the news the same thing? Like, what do you guys perceive of Gazidis? Do you see this as a new thing, or we're just gonna trust his word and go with what he says?
Well, yeah, well, we know his background, we know where he's come from. In a way, I think that's a good thing. He's seen it, the game at probably its most exposed and at its best in the EPL. So coming to Italy, where it's a lot more kind of developing in a way with financially. I think if he can utilise players that are of a more medium level and looking at within the club to grow our own talent, then that's something that we need to do. And I think that's something lacking in Italy. Clubs focusing on their own talent. The minute someone like Juve has a player in their youth system, they go loan them out, and some of them are never seen again. So it's good to promote our talent, and we've seen that with Coutinho, we've seen that with other players where they've come through the system and done very well. So yeah, I'm quite excited, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring.
I'm interested to understand what his plan is now. Like, it's again, we're not in the EPL, so we have this option for the second team. I want to see how he uses the second team. Because if that's what he wants to discover, these kids or these young talents are going to need to play. Whether it'll be Primavera or whether it'll be with the second team.
We'll see what kind of quality.
And,
Yeah, go ahead.
And just in saying that too, in Australia we have a similar problem here. I don't know if you know much about our football in the A-League here, but we rely heavily on one or two marquees in a team. And then we end up with quite older players. And then we rely on our other league, which is our version, like a regional league, to kind of poach players from that. So you almost need your one or two high-end players that are your marquee players, similar to what you have, in Canada and the US. You have a marquee system, and then you have to obviously utilize what you've got domestically to kind of balance that. So in a way, I'm kind of hoping that there are a lot more. We use this time to grow our own talent, our domestic talent, and also help the Azzurri out as well in that case.
Yeah. And that's too, and that's a fantastic point there, Daniel, as well. If he's gonna go this direction, it's gonna be positive, right? It's gonna be positive for Milan itself. Instead of splashing the cash of 30 million to buy someone who was discovered by someone else, we're discovering them before. I just don't want to become Arsenal.
But
I don't want to finish fourth all the
guys,
time.
in the end, I'm gonna leave you guys off with this before we move on to the next point. This plan is a good plan, but are we 3 to 4 years, 6 to 7 years too late? Where we got rid of 8 Senatori, and we should have been discovering these youth players. Hopefully, it's not a reboot for Milan that we have to get back to square one. I think right now we're at square 2, square 3.
No. It's a reboot. It's a complete reboot. We never had this before. We've only had Cutrone and Calabria come up from the Primavera.
Donnarumma?
And Donnarumma. But Donnarumma is a freak of nature.
Yeah.
At 16 years old, you're not going to get a lot of 16 years old from the Primavera. So it's a diamond in the rough.
Basically, we need a team to tide us over until these youth players become
100%. But again, I'm going to repeat it. I'm all for him in terms of finances, what he did with Arsenal to get them in the plus. to become an organization where you're always in the black, I'm okay with that. That's going to be something that's going to revolutionize Italy to the max. Don't start talking about new stadiums. This is not the Highbury and replace it with the Emirates. No. This is Italy. This is Milan. We are not Arsenal. We win Champions Leagues. We win Scudetto. That's what we do.
Not in a while, but
But that's what I want to do. That's why the games against Torino frustrate me to the max, where I want to take the table and throw it to the wall.
But at least his respect for Milan it came through, like his live video and everything. So at least that
in Italian, I have no problems with that. That's all the perfect stuff. That's all marketing stuff. I'm okay with that. My message to him, and if I would meet him, I would tell him, thank you, put us in the black, but we are not Arsenal. We want to win. The fan base here wants to win. 50 anni di Curva Sud. 50 anni. 50 years of a fan base screaming for this red and black. We don't want to finish fourth anymore. I'm not happy with fourth. I'm not Roma. I'm not Napoli. I'm sure as hell not Inter. We're Milan.
Oh, what? You don't get, you don't go down, you don't go up 2 men and get the game tied against
This
the
is
Cagliari?
karma, my friend.
Yeah.
It's karma because the Roman fans, when Milan was down, everybody was like, Milan, oh, finish. You want nothing, Roma fans. You want zero. Now you flip-flopped. We're the ones who are in fourth, and you're giving away 2 away goals.
Exactly. So, Steve, that's a shot to maybe you, Vinny Gattuso, but we love you, even though you're Romanista. Chapter number 5, the Italian Super Cup and Coppa Italia. The league announced that Milan will go on the road to face Sampdoria on January 12th for the Coppa Italia, and 4 days later play the Super Cup final against Juventus on January 16th. No time to rest. We'll face Genoa on January 20th, making it 3 games in 8 days for Milan. To you, Daniel, I'm going to ask you first. The question, would you be okay with Gattuso making a sacrifice to rest the regular starters for these 2 games so they can focus on the league matches? Or would you go tutta forza and try to win that Super Coppa?
I always say to play to win, but I think there's bigger things here than the Super Coppa Italia. And I think I would probably focus on this, the Serie A, and obviously try and progress in the Coppa Italia. That's what I would do. I think it would be, and the fact that the Super Coppa is played in another country as well.
But
I think it's going to be challenging.
But don't you have that 4-0 loss still? Like now, if you saw the video, you would see it. You got it right over here, right in the throat. Like, do you not want to? I'm not saying embarrass Juventus because let's be honest here, but don't you want to go win that Super Coppa just to
I would love to.
Yeah.
It would be a dream. And we watched the Coppa with the Juventus club all together in the same room, and it wasn't fun.
And it was peaceful.
It was, on the other half, it was very peaceful. On the other half, it wasn't so much. But I think, it would be lovely to win, obviously. But then again, I always love for our teams to play to win. But I think with the amount of games all in one hit, and the fact that we're going overseas to play one of them, would be very stressful on the team itself.
Well, with the rumors today, Daniel, it seems like Quagliarella might be on the other side of the fence. He might be with us when we face Sampdoria in the Coppa Italia.
But
look at this, guys. For me, Coppa Italia, scrap it. I would play the Primavera. The Super Cup, I want to win.
I think I would. I think because the Coppa Italia would be nice to do. We always reach the kind of the finals, whatever. But no, the Super Coppa because it's against Juventus. And guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it that one game that you? Yeah, you know what? If the ball turns right that night, it can go our way, and it's like that one-off,
It's
right?
a one-off.
The Serie A, you have the ritorno, and then it's like, yeah, we love playing Juventus, but we know that we ain't battling for Scudetto, right? we ain't gonna be putting too many sticks in Juventus's wheels, but the Super Coppa, but to let go, you would just screw the Coppa Italia, you would just play the youngsters.
It's too hard. We need someone's help. I cannot. I don't think my health can survive a tripletta. You understand?
Yeah.
It will not survive. I won't survive. So someone's gonna have to win this Coppa Italia,
So.
or the Scudetto, or the Champions
I
League.
think when we play bigger teams, for some weird reason, we actually turn it on. It's when we play teams like Chievo Verona, Parma, we look at the team and they almost switch off. So when we play teams like Napoli, we switched off towards the end of that game. But we do tend to, I don't know, lift to a different level. I don't know. I've seen that in a couple of games now. So I'm kind of hoping that happens in the Supercopa, that we do lift. And but then again, it is 3 games in a short period of time, so it's very challenging.
This is where the players, they need to prove to us that that's why they're professionals and that's why they get paid for what they pay. It's not like they're playing three games every 8 days every single week. So
They're professionals and they're paid to be.
they're paid to be, not that they pretend to
I agree
be.
with that too.
Chapter number 6, guys, this Thursday, Europa League preview. So Milan will advance with a draw or a loss by a single goal versus Olympiacos, while getting eliminated by any loss or 2 goals or more. The question, given Milan's lackluster performances in Europa League so far, how confident are you about them advancing out of the groups? Steve, are you even worried?
I never know which Milan's going to show up.
I remember you using Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, kind
Yeah.
of like you used to use that for Lazio, but now like that's like become Milan.
This
Like,
is the Milan.
Which Milan are we gonna get?
The Europa League, I want to go as far as possible. It's not a lot of money, but
It proves-
if fourth place gets congested
Yeah.
and we make some kind of miracle run in Europa League, it's another entrance into Champions League.
Yeah.
That for me is like a little eye on the prize there, right? It's a trophy, yeah, okay. You're gonna play the winner of the Champions League if you win it. Now, please, people are gonna say, "Oh, this guy thinks that Milan's the best team in the Europa League." No,
No.
but we saw Marseille get to the final.
In the last
Don't
year.
tell me Milan's not better than
No,
Marseille.
and we saw last year when we played Arsenal. It was a very big eye opener to say, okay, we're not at the level that one, and Arsenal wasn't playing their top players.
That
back
was
then.
the game at San Siro where Gattuso botched it.
Yeah.
Or else we were still in the game.
But we need to make it.
And
close.
Danny Welbeck flopped.
Daniel, do you see us passing Europa League? And if so, how far are we going?
I see us definitely getting out of the group. I think Greek football's in a, easily see us getting out of that group. Look, I would like to go as far as we can. I think we should push as hard as we can. It is a European competition. I think regardless of whether it's Europa League or it's Champions League, I think we need to keep pushing. And you're right, it is another avenue into the Champions League as well. So I think we should have all our cards on the table. And if anything, rather than focusing on, as you said, things like the Coppa Italia and things like that, I think things like the Europa League would be something that I would want to see us definitely push.
Yeah, and look, we were just talking about it before. We've discovered another center back in Abate. Zapata seems to be having a good time now when people are injured. We need to create some sort of depth where we can play them in the Coppa Italia. We can use them in Europa League to continue to advance.
I agree, and this is what I've actually said to other people as well. I've started this injury period, even though it's been bad for us, is to let other players to kind of grow with the team and give us, in a sense, some form of depth. So when we actually have to perform like we have to perform in the Coppa Italia, Supercoppa, and then Serie A game in close succession, or we have to go and play. We go really far in the Europa League. We've got players like Zapata who can definitely come in and gel with the team.
Zapata.
Play 3 or 4. Yeah.
Zapata.
Definitely, that's a good point. Maybe discovering what kind of depth we have and to play these teams. But you know what? Even the Europa League, if we make it as far, I think one of the big takeaways from there was putting ourselves back. And guys, I'm not saying in the level of where we were before, but people talking about Milan. Oh, Milan's in the semifinals, Milan's in the quarterfinals, and getting back to the top of the world where we belong to be. That was our final presidential point. But Daniel, before we let you go, give us again. We're gonna thank you once again for money that traveled. They traveled the Pacific, went all the way, got to Vancouver, traveled all the way to another bank over here, Maja. Thank you for all of that, and give us where we can find the Milan Club Sydney, your Twitter handle, and the Godfather. I
The
believe.
Godfather. I want to give him a hug.
The Godfather. Is
Video
he,
hug.
But is
Video hug for the Godfather.
But is he like a president that is obscure? He
no,
doesn't show
no. The Godfather is smooth and silky.
Smooth and silky, but he doesn't want to do the podcast.
He doesn't want to do it. He's not comfortable.
Okay, no, I understand.
You know,
I
El
gotta respect that.
Presidente Marcello, he says he's not comfortable. Then he goes on
Then he
CFMB.
goes on. And by the way, everybody loved your imitation of Marcello's voice. Everybody was having a good time.
You
with
see?
the-
I got it down pat.
But yeah, give us all your plugins. Time to put yourself over there, Daniel.
Yeah, so we're on Facebook. That's our primary point of contact. So
Facebook.
Club Sydney. You can find that quite easily. Yeah, and Antonio, he would love to have come on. He's our great president, and he's like the Milan encyclopedia. That's how I kind of refer to him. He's been following Milan for over 50 years, all his life. And he's our encyclopedia, so if anyone needs to know anything about Milan, you can definitely ask Tony. It's a great club here. We're all, and everyone is welcome. So anyone that comes to Sydney, link up with us, and we'll love to have you at our live game. The difficult thing here in Australia is the games are at very difficult times, but we do try. So it's great. So follow us on Facebook, Milan Club Sydney, and if you're ever in Australia, feel free to come and visit us here in Sydney, or Milan Club Melbourne, or any other clubs that we're going to start to create very soon.
Nice.
Thank you for that.
That'll be
And
a Nespresso prima della partita.
the world's most dangerous continent, the animals or their snakes. There's
Guaranteed,
spiders.
I'm getting guaranteed I die. Guaranteed.
Yeah, we're getting.
Killed 5 snakes this morning, and I fed my kangaroo, and now we're playing with the koalas. So we do this every day.
What did he say? He had interistis in his backyard.
Yeah, he got
He had
the
snakes. He had snakes.
Well, a lot of them, yes. We have to kill them all the time. They're very bad.
I guess just the way us Canadians live in igloos and have polar bears as neighbors, right? Well, Daniel, thank you very much for taking the time. I know it's it's early morning for you. See, us we're taping on Monday, but for Daniel, it's Tuesday. It's
Yeah,
Tuesday
he's having
afternoon.
lunch.
I think.
He
He's
said
having
it's
lunch.
lunchtime.
No better lunchtime. Daniel,
Beautiful. Buon panino.
No.
Grazie. Thank you, everyone.
thank you, and say salute to the Godfather, and you know what?
The Godfather's gonna be listening. We're telling him,
Salute. Maybe once un abbraccio, un bello salute.
Video hug.
Daniel, thank you very much, and we'll make sure that we plug you on when we put this on the air tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All the best, everyone. And grazie. Forza Milan.
Forza Milan, ciao Daniel.
Grazie, ciao.
So now we're gonna put out people. Well, you put the live version.
Yeah, of course, live.
Now, guys, Steve, this is where if you're just listening in and not watching, you don't understand what's going on. Okay, so Steve, last week, because as you guys saw, we need a stand to put the phone because we can't figure it out.
We need the stand.
And Steve bought me a Dolce Delizie Pandoro. Now, Steve, I don't know if you knew, but let's just say you
Yeah.
discovered this recipe
Yes.
on the internet machine.
for panettone.
No, hold. Can I finish?
Yes.
You just saw that it's a crazy thing to do French toast with this.
Boom.
Now, put yourself in perspective.
Explosion.
You have one piece per la Madonna.
Yeah.
What happens if you have the whole panettone?
Both to the arch.
Now you're sitting on the couch.
Acid straight through your esophagus.
You're opening up the pants and everything.
And guaranteed you put the powdered sugar. Whoever says they don't put the powdered
Who
sugar,
doesn't put the powdered sugar?
they're lying.
Now, as you're opening up the pants, you got all this acida, and it's like the indigestion. You hear about Montella. Montella, that in the exact Presidente's words, it takes a ball. By the way, I think it's the first time that the Presidente uses blasphemy. It takes balls for Montella, who was fired twice in the same season by two different teams, to make comments about Gattuso's inexperience in Serie A compared to him. All this because Montella took exception for Gattuso saying Milan's players were not in shape when he took over. Montella. What have you done with Montella? What so now you're perceiving that, but Gattuso probably is taking shots at me, whatever. Montella, you gave us veramente un acido.
But Montella, someone has to tell Montella that when he was at Sevilla, and the Derby de Sevilla, if I'm not mistaken, it's Real Betis.
When he lost what?
They made a T-shirt thanking Sevilla for hiring Vincenzo Montella.
Yeah.
That's I haven't seen it in Italy, so I tip my hat to them because that was fantastic.
It's pretty funny.
You can't. Gattuso was inexperienced, yes, but we all know that. But you came in as experienced. The Milan faithful is not angry at Montella because of the results. The results have something to do with it, yes. What we didn't like is every time we laid a big fat egg and we sucked, you said that we played a good game. Where there's 50 billion people who are watching the same game.
And smiling. Don't forget about the smiling.
And smiling while he said, well, we lost 3 points or we tied after we were winning. Whatever disaster we've been going through for the time that you were coach. That's why we're angry. That's why the indigestion is. Because as soon as I saw him, that's what I thought about. The smile on... Abbiamo giocato bene, maledizione, oggi non era... No, zero.
So it's like as you're getting all this information, your stomach is grumbling, right? Your pants are open, you're having all this acida. You look over to your wife, your lovely wife, and you say, Sandy, honey,
Make me a panini.
No.
I love that. Dammi una brioche.
Get the brioche from Ustip,
Dammi una brioche.
right? I need to burp it up, right?
Not a brewski, a brioche.
And now tell me, Steve, what was it like, because we're talking about being honest and not bullshitting Milan fans. What was a great moment this week where Leonardo came out straightforward.
Yeah.
And now I don't know if it's true. I prefer him telling us the truth, right?
Yeah.
About saying, look, guys, until we get all this thing, Ibra, we can't cut it. He's not coming back. He's not coming back. Maybe it has something to do with, the whole fees, and maybe they're going to come back and say we're going to cut the fees.
Yeah.
Pizzaiolo, maybe, whatever. But it was a nice, refreshing bit of information where they're actually telling the truth. Now, yes, we'll go back to our podcast last year where we were saying that we appreciated Fasone and Mirabelli coming out at the beginning of the season, really being truthful and we thought about the whole financial situation. But I think the moral of this, the moral of us being happy was be honest with us, right?
Yeah.
Just the way we were mad when Milan got rid of all the senatori and not having a plan. Like, just tell us there's a plan, and there was no plan. So, Steve, was this a good feel moment with Brioche of the week? Having Leonardo was like, hey guys, you know what? Let me be straightforward.
That was on
And
live
it's-
TV.
Yeah.
That was live. I watched the live thing, and and I tweeted it out. He went to Galliani University, but he puts an honest spin on it. It's logical, guys. We're gonna get a sanction from from UEFA.
100%.
We're gonna be restricted in some way. Do you think the fund, I love to call them the fund, cares about $5 to $7 million? They probably carry that around in their pocket. That's where we're at right now. They don't care about that. But unfortunately, UEFA will put restrictions on who we could buy, how many players we
You
can
guys,
have on the
well,
bench.
nothing to complain about,
Yeah.
right? Because we would have been out of the Europa League, so whatever they
Exactly.
give us. But I think, Steve, the fact that what did they give us 5 million, 7 million restrictions is that we have a sound structure, financial structure, to say not any sound financial structure to say we're just gonna give you the money. It's like, okay, we're gonna get the money from over here. We're gonna get, whether it be, we're talking about Andre Silva, we're gonna pay him, or we're gonna take that money to pay Bakayoko. But I think they have the proper people in place. Gazidis being in place, having the track record that he has, right? there's no way that UEFA would, like, not accept or say, okay, here's what we're gonna do, and I have no problem with that. I would take that before being out of Europa League, especially when the team was not at fault.
We're more credible now.
Yeah, we're
We're
definitely
more credible now towards UEFA. UEFA also has a little bit of a juggling act to do. The WikiLeaks coming out, and it could change what they do. It could change in a way where we might need to lay down the law, or it could be, if we lay down the law with Milan, will there be repercussions from Milan that could expose us to other things with Man City and PSG?
PSG. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
They're not going to get away with that. If those things are true, again, I'm just speculating here. I don't know if they're
What do we
true.
know?
They're probably true.
Yeah.
But they have a little bit of a juggling act. What do we do with this Milan now? Unfortunately, Milan's history with the Champions League, it's pretty heavy. That 7 Champions League winner, 7-time Champions League winner.
And
Manchester City, how many times have we win it? 0.
Exactly.
PSG,
It's
0.
Juventus.
2. 7 times lost. 7 times lost in the final. We have 7 wins. So
Guys,
just throw that out there.
In the end, I think what it comes down to, whatever, we will get a penalty, rightfully so, after everything that came out. We business wise, I think we have the from what we can see from the Gazidis, from what he's done, I think we have the right people in place.
Yeah.
We have sound management in the Maldinis, the Leonardos, the Scarones, and the Elliott Fund. And in the end, guys, even knowing that the Elliott Fund is there, and if you guys have ever seen, just YouTube this, the Elliott Fund, it's a 10-minute video, I believe, from Footy or something. Guys, it's a fantastic little documentary. 10 minutes, it explains to you really where the Elliott Fund, the vulture fund that they are. But in the end, what I got from that little documentary was they're not here to lose money.
No.
So they're here, they want to put a sound structure for the team. When the time comes, here's what we're offering you, give us the money, look, just take it and sail away.
Yeah.
Right? So I believe we're playing Monday against Bologna. We have it is Monday because we're playing on Thursday. Friday we got the Christmas get together, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, the holiday get
get-together.
together, and don't sing "Baby It's Cold Outside" because people are getting offended. Guys, Saturday I will be joining the Southside crew to go to the local Walmart to buy all the food.
No, I will not be doing that.
I said I will.
Yeah.
Steve is just giving us the money. He's just paying cash. And on Sunday, anybody that's around, we will be there. Cafe Southside. Bring your old toys,
Jean Talon.
cans, Jean Talon. Guys, it's 10 years in a row. It's for a great cause.
Yeah. And you guys can still donate to another GoFundMe page.
You guys know
want to
from over
see
there?
me with no shirt? You want to see me with no shirt? I'll take it off right now. I don't care. No.
Let's just wait for one. And not that I regret, but you know why I don't gamble anymore, Steve, right? Because I'm a shkaron,
Yeah,
right?
very bad.
And when I told you, when you said $1,000, and man, I'm like, but this guy doesn't understand. Like even a couple of $100 is good enough. And when you said $1,000, I'm like, okay, I'll go shirtless too. And what happens? Because I'm not shkaron,
Yeah.
it's probably gonna happen.
Sunday we're looking at a beautiful -1 feels like -8, ladies and gentlemen. The nipples will be popping.
Ovunque e sempre.
Forza Milan!
Ciao, guys.